It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day for a neighbor. Won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? What's up, dudes? Welcome back to the vault. You probably guessed it. The film I will be reviewing this evening is A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. The Mr. Rogers biopic. And I've got to be honest, I cried a little bit during this film because it is just incredibly sweet. And if you don't know who Mr. Rogers is, then just look him up on YouTube and you will see why I cried like a little bitch. But having said that, let's just jump straight into it. This one opens on a serene, with a shot of a serene model village before we get a beautiful rendition of Beautiful Day in the Neighbourhood from Tom Hanks. It's a superb cast for this one. It's no surprise that Tom Hanks delivers a fantastic performance as Mr. Rogers. Hanks has nailed the man's cadence and soft-spoken tone perfectly and is thoroughly entertaining as Mr. Rogers. Hanks is joined by a newcomer, Matthew Rhys, who plays reporter Lloyd Vogler. Rhys gives a absolutely stupendous performance and offers up a real contrast to Hanks's Rogers. There's also a great supporting cast, Chris Cooper, Susan Kelechi Watson, and there's even some wonderful footage of the man himself towards the end of the film, so stick around for that. The story for this one tells of reporter Lloyd Vogler as he is assigned the job of writing a piece on the altruistic Mr. Rogers. I truly loved the script and story for this film. It's incredibly sweet and innocent and introduces a whole new audience to a man that not many people outside the US will know about. I also, loved the overall narrative. They didn't need to focus on Mr. Rogers himself, and that it managed to portray the kind-hearted individual that he was, and it did this effortlessly. The story instead focused on Lloyd Vogler, and it thrived because of this. We see everything from this broken man's perspective, and we experience his dark world view. And because of this, it was then great to see him change as a character and as a person after spending time with Mr. Rogers. It was just a really great and structured script, and I just really appreciated it. Marielle Heller, I think I pronounced that right, directs this one, and this is another new director I wasn't familiar with. She certainly shows her chops. However, Heller is extremely talented and gives us a film that really showcases who Mr. Rogers was and anyone that came into contact with him, and how they were better people for coming into contact with him. Heller also introduced her own flair and initiative by using model cities and towns for her transitions. The fact that model towns were a staple in Mr. Rogers' show, then it became a detail I really appreciated. It was just a fun, inventive way to move the story along. I look forward to more from Heller, especially seeing as she really kind of gave us a fresh take on grief and how not to deal with grief and how to deal with grief, which I just thought was brilliant. The only thing I learned from this was that every child needed a Mr. Rogers like figure as they were growing up. No Jimmy Saviles, please, or Rolf Harris's. And there it is. There's my very quick review for A Beautiful Day in the Neighbourhood. I really can't do this film justice. You should definitely go watch it yourselves. So that leads me to my first important question. Would I recommend this film? I would 100% recommend this film. If you have no idea who Mr. Rogers is, go and watch this film. You will get a pretty firm idea of who he was, because he is now, unfortunately, he's passed away. You'll get a pretty solid idea of who he was and what he did for generations and generations of kids growing up in the United States. If you are aware of him slightly, try giving Won't You Be My Neighbour, the documentary, a watch, which is also just a great insight into the man and who he was. And I've been looking forward to this film for a little while, so I would thoroughly recommend this film if you're looking for something new to watch when you go to the cinema this weekend. So let's jump to the two most important questions. Having said that, does this film? Not would I recommend this film? I just said that. Does this film belong on the vault? My only issue with this film was that the story did dip somewhat in terms of pace in the second act. But other than that, this is a great feel-good film that will have you grinning from ear to ear. The performances are phenomenal. The scene transitions are great. Great directing, just all around a great film. So for those reasons, this film will be going into the vault. There's that little diamond star that's gone off, followed by the beautiful tones of Mr. Rogers. So there we have it, guys. There's my review for A Beautiful Day in the Neighbourhood. As always, if you've seen the film and you loved it, Let me know what you loved down in the comments below. If you've seen it and you hated it, I'd be really interested to know what you disliked about it. And as always, guys, if you like what I'm doing here, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with your friends, your pets, your family, your friendly neighborhood Mr. Rogers. And until the next one, peace, love, my dudes.